Hey guys, welcome back to Baddie and a Book. My name is Gabby and today we have a massive fall book haul. There are so many books sitting here. I don't even know where to start, but we have a little bit of everything. We've got some thriller, we've got some romance, we've got some contemporary fiction, we've got some classics, which your girl said I would never buy classics. Like I was like, nah, I'm not interested, but here we are today. And some of these books are secondhand, some of them are I bought brand new, I bought online, bought in store. We got a little bit of everything. So we're essentially going to just jump right into it. I don't really know what else to say at this point. The first book that I picked up is called Without Merit by Colleen Hoover. I've been trying to get as many of her books as possible just because of the hype surrounding the books that she has, especially the books that are not talked about are the books that I really want to read as well, just because the other ones are talked about so much. I have bought some of them, but I'm going to put them off in reading them so that I'm not spoiled, because I made the mistake with Ugly Love November 9 and It Ends With Us. If you watch my wrap up, that I think I watched so many videos where there were so many reviews, and even the non-spoiler reviews, because I watched so many of those book reviews, book hauls, and hearing the small little details of the synopsis, because they vary from each person and depending on who you're watching, like they give different details. I think it kind of took away my excitement and my experience, or my opportunity to have a really good experience with the books, because I haven't yet found a book by Colleen Hoover that it just blows my mind. So I'm still on the hunt for that particular book. Now this book is different from a lot of her other books that she has, specifically because this one is not really a romance book. So Colleen Hoover, she's known specifically for romance. She has a few books here and there that don't fall into that category. I guess she likes to spice things up or make things different every now and then, and this is one of those books. I've also heard very mixed reviews about this book, but I'm curious to see if that is specifically because of the book not being one of her best works, or if it's because it doesn't fall into the category of it being a romance and what people are so used to and what people expect from her with reading books like November 9, Ugly Love, and Reminders of Him, and what's the other one? It Ends With Us, and all of that. So this book actually follows a family. It follows a character by the name of Merritt, and this is more of a family-based family story versus a romance. It seems like there might be some type of romance sprinkled in there, but it really is just following this family story and some truths that end up coming to the surface and making things a lot more complicated for the main character Merritt. And it pretty much just, goes through that story and the consequences of those lies coming to the surface. So I'm really excited to pick this one up and see what this one is about, and maybe will this be the one that blows my mind? Will it? I guess we'll find out. The next set of books is another Colleen Hoover books, or more Colleen Hoover books. This is another series that is not heavily talked about as much. It's talked about because it's Colleen Hoover, but it's not as heavily talked about as some of her most popular books, and it is the Maybe series. So we have Maybe Someday, we have Maybe Not, and then we have Maybe Now. The first book, it follows Sydney and Ridge. Such weird names, but Sydney and Ridge. This one is dual POV. Second book, which is Maybe Not, which is not dual POV, but this one follows Warren and Bridget. And then the last book is kind of like the multiple POV, because it has all 4 POVs in this book, and it is kind of the one that ties everything together. So I am really excited to read these eventually, because they are not talked about nearly as much. I'll probably get to these sooner rather than later. Maybe I'll do a reading vlog or something with these, but yeah, those are the last of the Colleen Hoover books that I have for this particular haul. Like I said, I'm still trying to gather all of her books and collect as many as possible, so there will probably be more Colleen Hoover books in the videos to come, in the hauls to come. The next book that I picked up, I actually ended up making a trip to Books A Million. So some of the books here are from Books A Million in my trip there. This one is called P.S. I Love You by Cecilia Ahern. This book, first of all, it was only $6, which, hell yeah. And then this one actually follows a woman by the name of Holly. So her husband just passed. It's her 30th birthday, and I'm anticipating, or I'm expecting, that they knew that he was going to pass, or maybe he knew that he was going to pass, just based off of the synopsis, because essentially he leaves a note or a letter for every month after his passing. Or it was like a bundle of notes that she found. So it is following her on her grieving journey, her reading these notes and reconnecting with her husband that has passed. I was very excited to read this. The other really interesting and unique component, not really unique, but another really interesting component about this book is that they were childhood friends to lovers, or soulmates, essentially. I thought that that was such a cute component of that particular story. The next set of books that I got is in the thriller category, so this is very appropriate for the fall time. And this book, this particular author, I wanted to pick up a few different versions or a few different novels from him specifically, because I've heard really good things about his novels and I see his books all the time. So we have Harlan Coben. Now this is Runaway, Don't Let Go, and The Stranger. So the only book that I really know a whole lot about is Runaway. And I don't even know a whole lot about it. I just know just a little bit from reading the synopsis. This one follows a dad who, it seems like he's not connected with his daughter, like he hasn't seen her in some years. And then he runs into her into this public place and he sees that she's not doing very well. And not only is he trying to reconnect with her, but he's also trying to save her from her situation that she is in. I don't know what these two are about, but the covers for me, it was the covers for me. You know, I'm a cover whore, so cover whore. But I picked up these three because I never want to have just one single book by an author. I want to have multiple so I can get an accurate opinion about someone's work. Nothing says fall like classics. I don't know, if I were to read a classic, it would probably be in the fall time. So I picked up 2 box sets of classics, and I'm so excited to it makes me actually excited to read a classic, because I was that person that said I would never really read classics and not really be interested in reading classics, but I definitely changed my mind. So I have the Puffin and Bloom Classics box set, and then I also have the Puffin Classics Deluxe Collection. So in the Puffin and Bloom collection, we have Little Women, Anne of Green Gables, A Little Princess, and Heidi. And I actually saw this book, I saw Little Women being hauled by itself from another booktuber, and when I saw this edition I was like, I have to have it, it's gotta be mine. And I did some searching for it. I know that Barnes & Noble sells it by itself, but then when I went on Amazon I found the box set and I was like, that's so much cheaper to buy the whole box set than it is to just buy this by itself, because this book is $16 and each individual book is $16 by itself. So can we just take a moment to appreciate the illustrations and the design of the cover art? We've got gold foiling, we've got the 4 sisters on the front, and then on the back we have the consistency of the front carried over to the back with a quote and gold foiling on the back, which is absolutely stunning. This is a more thicker copy of Little Women. I will say, looking at this first glance, it is a little intimidating to read, but then when you open the book, the words are not very small. So I don't know, maybe it was just the design that they decided to do for this particular book. But regardless, she is a thickie, a real thickie. Not sure if I'm going to get to that anytime soon, but it makes for good shelf decor in the meantime and also after I'm done reading it. The next book that's in this collection is Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery. Now this book, I actually remember reading a version of this book, like a middle grade version of this book, when I was in like middle school. And I remember really enjoying it. I'll put a picture of what the book looked like and what the cover looked like, because I do still remember what it looks like. So having Anne of Green Gables also in this box set made me want to buy it even more, just because I knew that there were 2 at least out of the 4 that I had anticipated on reading. again with the gold foiling and the cover carrying over to the back with the gold foiling as the quote on the back. It's just absolutely stunning. Some of them come with illustrations, I'm noticing, and some of them don't. It doesn't look like there is any illustrations in this particular edition of Anne of Green Gables, but either way, it's such a pretty cover and it looks really, really, really good on my shelf. The last two that came in this box set, I've actually never heard of these classics before. I wasn't too familiar with classics before anyways, but still, of the classics, Little Women and Anne of Green Gables were books I definitely had heard of before. But the next one, A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett and Heidi by Johanna Spyri, are two books I had never really heard of before. Stunning covers. I love the bright colors of these two in comparison to the kind of duller pastel-y and olive-y tones of that one. This kind of offsets it and just makes it look so good in the box and on my shelf. But it's got the gold foiling, so there's consistency in that with these editions, and then the quotes on the back of these two books as well. So these ones actually have a little bit of illustrations in here. So maybe it just depends on the book itself on whether or not it actually comes with illustrations, because definitely not all of them came with illustrations, but these ones do have illustrations in them. So that is the first box set. And then in the second box set, we have A Little Princess again. We have The Secret Garden, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Black Beauty, The Wizard of Oz, and Anne of Green Gables. Now these editions are a little bit different. These ones just have printing on the cover that carries over to the back of the book, but I still absolutely love these books. Okay, maybe Anne of Green Gables just doesn't have illustrations like as the standard in the classics. So this is the version of Anne of Green Gables. And then we have The Wizard of Oz by Frank Baum, and I believe this one, yeah, see, this one does have illustrations in it. So I don't know, maybe it's just an Anne of Green Gables thing. But this is The Wizard of Oz. I love the red. This is definitely giving fall vibes with, you know, the witches and all of that, with spooky season being here. And I remember Wizard of Oz always being something that came on TV around this time for us to be able to watch. We have Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. Now this one, I love the dark theme with the purple and the blues. It's such a pretty addition. Again, we also have Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I love the green of this one. Then we have The Secret Garden and A Little Princess. Again, both of these are very pretty additions. I love the printing of these two. I love the yellow and the pink, and it's giving. The whole box set is giving, and just seeing these books sitting on my bookshelf are just, it's just amazing. Like, look at that. Period. Now, nothing also says fall like sports romances, because we know that football season, all of that typically starts around the fall time, right? Is that right? Because football season starts in like August. So the next book series that I picked up is a sports romance series. I believe they are all considered companion novels, I think. But anyways, it is the Fulton U series by Maya Hughes. It is a sports romance. These are the discrete covers, or the alternative covers to the originals, which I prefer these so much more than the other covers. I just don't like having men or people on covers. Every now and then it's done right. Like if it's giving, it's giving. But those covers I just did not like. So I love the different colors of these. They look beautiful on my shelf. I'm actually reading The Perfect First right now, and I absolutely love it. But the books in order are The Perfect First, The Second We Met, The Third Best Thing, and The Fourth Time Charm. Yeah, The Fourth Time Charm. All of these books follow a different friend in their friend group, or a different player, because all of them are football players. So the first book is called The Perfect First, and this one follows Reese and Seth. This is the current book that I'm reading, and I must say I am absolutely loving it. I love Reese. If you watched my previous vlog, you know that I love him so much. I haven't finished it yet, so we'll see if that remains as is with however this book ends, but I am so in love with him. Like, I just love him so much. And the next book follows Nyx. This is one of Reese's friends. So we do meet him in the first book, and this one follows him and his love interest. And then the third best thing, this one follows Burke, I believe, right? Is it Burke? Yes. This one follows Burke and his love interest, so I am really excited to see how this is. This is another friend in the friend group. You do also meet him in the first book as well. And then the last book is The Fourth Time Charm. This one follows LJ, and he is again another player and also another friend in the group. With that being said, what I really hope for in the series is that throughout the series we'll be able to still see glimpses of the different characters. If these are in the tone of this book, I'm assuming that we will, because this book does showcase all of these characters, these main characters, from Reese's perspective, so you do get to meet them and you get to see them and kind of see how they are. So I'm excited to read these. The next series that I ended up picking up, I actually picked this up from Walmart. One of them I bought in store, and then the other two I bought online. I haven't heard anything about these books on BookTube at all, but these are perfect fall vibes because murder mystery or murder crime period fall time, it goes together. It goes, right? So the first book is Say You're Sorry. The second book and third book, it's Say No More and Say Goodbye. I'm not sure which one is the second or which one is the third off of the top of my head, but these are the books. One thing, a big pet peeve of mine, is the fact that they do come in different sizes. I'm thinking that this is an author that I don't really know too much about. I haven't seen or heard too much about. So it's a possibility that these are new releases and they just haven't come out in the bigger size just yet. But I may end up, if I really like the series, I may end up trading this one in for this size, or trading these ones in and getting the bigger size if they ever become available. But everywhere that I looked, it was only these mass market paperbacks that were listed. This size wasn't listed. The only downside to getting these books is that they're not floppy like this. Look at that flop. Ooh, okay. Ooh, so the next author, this is an author bundle. And what's interesting about this particular bundle is that majority of these I actually picked up from Facebook Marketplace. Now, if you are on a budget and you are trying to find books, I would highly suggest, if you're looking to just kind of grow your library, not necessarily go by what is trending on BookTok or BookTube, but you're just looking for interesting books at an affordable price, not trying to break the bank, because that was the bandwagon that I was on when I first started buying books, was that I wanted to grow my library as soon as possible with as many different authors, even ones I hadn't heard from or heard of. I just wanted to grow my library and have options. That way, when I go to pick up another book, I'm not restricted on, only having a certain number of books. I have as many as I want to choose from. That was the goal for me. So one place that I used was Facebook Marketplace. And so I ended up finding this is 10 books by the same author. I ended up finding 6 of these books on Facebook Marketplace. I think I spent like $15 for the 6 of them because it came in a bundle. And then the rest I ended up finding, I just so happened to find them at Goodwill. So the author is Emily Giffin, and I have almost every book under the sun by her, but a lot of these books, like I said, came from Facebook Marketplace in that bundle. So these were the ones that came in the bundle on Facebook Marketplace. So it has Where We Belong, Something Borrowed, Love the One You're With, Heart of Matter, Baby Proof, and Something Blue. And mind you, I had seen these books, in Goodwill here and there, but never was really intrigued by them. But I like to buy multiple books from the same author so that I can have enough material to kind of give an opinion. And also it makes for good content too, because I can do vlogs where I read multiple books of the same author and give an opinion on that particular author. The last 4 that I ended up picking up from Goodwill, I have All We Ever Wanted. I have First Comes Love, The One and Only, and even one of her newer releases, The Lies That Bind. Because I ended up seeing this in Target, and I got this from Goodwill for like $2 or $3, and it was brand new at Target for like 18 bucks. And this is still in relatively really good condition. So I was very, very happy with that, and now I have a ton of her books. I haven't read a single one yet, but I have a ton of her books to kind of use at my discretion and figure out when I want to read them. So the next 2 books that I picked up are Watch Us Rise by Renee Watson and Ellen Hagen, and Screen Queens by Lori Goldstein. Now, both of these books are they're both YAs, and they're both giving women empowerment, coming of age. One of them is more, I think Watch Us Rise is writers, and then this one is about a competition of some sort. I believe I got this one from the dollar store, and then this one I got secondhand off of somebody online like Pingo Books or something like that. The next book that I picked up is called Every Last One by Anna Quindlen. I have another book that I hauled from her as well, but this one follows a woman by the name of Mary Beth Latham, and it is following her on her story as a mother, and like something happens to her son when he becomes depressed. And the only reason that I really picked up this one is because I didn't have another book by this author, and I've never heard of her before. So I got this from like a Goodwill locally, and I thought that this would be a good one to add to my collection for that particular author. Next book that I picked up is called Unseen Messages by Pepper Winters. Somebody spoke about this book on BookTok. I don't remember who it was or what they said about it, but all I know is that I ended up looking for this book immediately afterwards and found it on like Pingo Books or something for like $5 and bought it immediately. This is giving Forks proximity. It's giving that they maybe get trapped on an island, the 2 characters. We have Estelle and Galloway are the name of the 2 characters. So that's what it's giving. I don't know too much more about this book because it was so long ago that I found the book and ordered it. So, but that is this book. I love the cover. She's also a thickie as well, and I was really glad that this came in relatively good condition because it was a used book. The next book I picked up the next 2 books that I picked up are from the author Claire McIntosh. So I have I Let You Go. I got this one from Books A Million, and then I have Let Me Lie also from Books A Million as well. It's giving thriller vibes. It's giving October, fall vibes. And I've heard really good things about this particular author in the thriller category, so I'm really excited to pick that one up here probably in the near future. And then Let Me Lie, this one is another book by this author. I'm not really sure what this one is about, but to kind of bundle these 2 together to get more than one book by the same author, I went ahead and threw this into my cart when I was shopping. The next book that I picked up is called Hush Hush by Lucia Franco. Now this one is a forbidden romance. I don't know like too much about it. What I really love about books now that I kind of have an idea of what I like in books and then what I go for to make me want to purchase books, is I love when they have little messages on the book. So like this one says, never reveal your true identity. First and foremost, I love the synopsis on this book, whereas like most books they give you a full synopsis, like full on paragraphs. I actually prefer the books that have very minimal synopsis on the back of the book, just giving you a perspective of one of the characters or a thought process of one of the characters or both of the characters if it's a dual POV. I really enjoy those more than getting the full like breakdown of what a synopsis is like these books here, because I find that they do give a lot of information away. So I'm really excited. It's the simple things for me when it comes to picking up books. It could be like something like this. It could be like a little blurb on the front or a little comment about the book. It could be a blurb from another author that reviewed the book on the book that makes me want to get it. This is actually a discreet cover version of the original version, and I love this cover so much more. The discrete covers and the alternative covers that they're coming out with are so much better 9 times out of 10 than the original cover. I have yet to find a cover that I liked originally before they made the changes to the alternative cover. The next book that I picked up is called The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Now this book I don't know a whole lot about. I just know that this is one of her most favored novel. I actually read Kristen Hanna when I was in high school. I believe I read Firefly Lane. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I will be repurchasing that book soon just so that I can reread it. I remember her being a really, really good author. This one is a historical novel, which I'm assuming is kind of like her niche, because most of the books that I've heard about, The Great Alone is another one that I have that is also a historical novel. But I love the cover of this one. I love the feeling of this cover, and I bought this one used and it is still in relatively really, really good condition. So I was really, really excited about that. Ooh, so we have about 3 series left and a bunch of standalones. So I'm gonna do one of the series. This next series, I actually purchased this one off of Amazon. It came slightly damaged, so I was able to luckily get some of my money back for it. But this is perfect for the fall. It's a cozy kind of snuggle up. You know, it was made into a movie, so there's a movie adaptation for these books, so you can easily cozy up and read the books and then watch the movie afterwards. But this is the After series with I think it's Tessa and Hardin, if I remember correctly, are the characters' names. I actually saw the movies first a while ago, and then found out that they actually were books originally, so I decided to definitely pick them up. I saved a lot of money on this book set because they came damaged. I think the original price of this was $35, and then they gave me about $10 back because of the damages, and I only really spent $25 on these. I really enjoy these covers. These ones, I will actually say that these ones actually do come with people on the covers, but I actually don't mind these ones. They have these covers, the movie covers, and then they have like the original covers. I really, to be honest, don't mind these covers. So these would be the one very few exceptions to the not liking people on the covers rule that I have. I think this was done very well. The next book that I picked up is a standalone and a BookTok BookTube favorite, and it is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have had good experiences with Taylor Jenkins Reid so far, so picking up another one was a no-brainer for me. I still haven't found one that has like really captivated me and really has moved me like people are explaining on, you know, BookTube and BookTok. Of the books that are talked about on BookTube and BookTok, this is not at the top of the list like Evelyn Hugo and some of the other books that are written by her. It's up there, but it's not quite up there, so I thought this one would be a good one to pick up, to kind of pick up here in the near future. Next book here is definitely not a fall book. It's more of a summer book in my opinion, and most of BookTube would actually agree with me on that, but it's called Book Lovers by Emily Henry. If you've been anywhere here on BookTube, you know this book. It's been everywhere, and I've just really been trying to collect all of Emily Henry's book because she only has 3, I believe. But I'm not going to read this in this fall time. I'm probably going to save this for the springtime, but I did purchase it here recently, so I wanted to include it in this haul. The next book that I picked up, since we were talking about Little Women, I actually was able to find this book in Books A Million, and it's called Joe and Laurie by Margaret Stoll and Melissa Dela Cruz. So I think this is an extension novel of some sort of Little Women. It's not the original authors, of course, or the original author, of course, but I thought that this would be interesting to add to my collection. So the next book series, this is definitely giving fall vibes. I have kind of started to stray away from watching too many book reviews or book hauls with a lot of details about books in them, because now I merely just cover by because I want to go into all of my books as blindly as possible. I've done enough booktube watching, haul watching, review watching to kind of know what books interest me the most. So now when it comes to buying books, I really just buy authors that I've heard of before, or even just book covers that look interesting, or if the general premise of the book looks interesting, I'll read the synopsis once or twice and then make a decision on whether or not I want to buy it. This was an author buy because I've heard really good things about this author, and I do already have another book by this author, but I don't have any series by her, so I thought I would pick up a series. And this is the Devil's Night series. I did go ahead and pick up every single book, including the novellas in the Devil's Night series, because I just like having the entire series. It's so satisfying to see this on my shelf. But these are dark romances from what I've heard, and I've heard that Penelope Douglas is a dark, if you're gonna get a dark romance, Penelope Douglas is the way to go. I love these covers. I do prefer the original covers of these books, but they're harder to find, and if you do find them, they're extremely expensive. I'm talking like $100 or more for a book, but I'll settle for these covers because these ones are just as nice too. And then I picked up a few more books from Books A Million. I actually think this one might have been from Goodwill, now that I'm looking at it, because I don't see a sticker on this one. But this one is called The Breathless by Tara Gogin, and then this one is called The Healer by Donna Freitas. Now, I don't know what either one of these two books are about, but I just really love the cover of these two specifically. I've got so many books that say Breathless, or that are called Breathless, or The Breathless, or something along those lines, so I picked up those two. And then finally, the last books that I picked up are actually part of another series. Again, I don't know what this series is about. These were merely just cover buys, and I've heard really good things about this particular author, so I thought I would go ahead and pick them up. I love being able to buy the entire series of books in a series. But this one is called, I'm assuming, the Hades series by Tate James. So we have Seventh Circle, Anarchy, Club 22, and Timber. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, I have no idea what these books are about, but I like the covers. When I read the synopses of the books at the time, I really was intrigued by it, but I honestly couldn't tell you now what these are about. I just know that they look good on my shelf and they seemed really interesting. I really like to forget about the synopses of the books after I read it for the first time to decide if I want to purchase a book, just because I like the element of surprise once I finally do decide to go ahead and pick up the book. That pretty much wraps up all of the books the many books that I bought this season to start off the fall season. This probably won't be the last, so stay tuned for more. And if you did like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me a lot. I'm trying to reach my 1K so I can get monetized on YouTube. But yeah, thanks guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.